everybody. Hello. Hi, Shoku Panu. How are you? I'm sorry you've been ill. Mischief Maker, good morning. Hi, Hunt. Hi, Maeve. Good morning, guys. Good screaming for some of you. How are we doing? Shelly's, look at you on a 3-stream streak. Hot damn. Hot damn. Thank you very, very much. Good morning, Reegs. Let's do a couple of streaks here because we need to get them. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Welcome to
Oh my goodness, Botan. Look at you on a 7-stream streak as well. GG's. Good morning, guys, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are coming to us from anywhere in the world. Ray of effing sunshine. Hello, Deadwalk. Jump scares.
See what your
I found out.
look like.
Okay, so that I have to take care of. I did find out some things about my Lumia and my channel points. Even if I turn them off, Lumia turns them back on Twitch. So I found that out. Thank you very, very much, Ray of effing sunshine. I lost my streak. Damn shift change, sons of bitches. Hello, Feed. How are you? Good morning. We are also over on YouTube and on Twitch. And there will be an edited version. You guys spoke out that you want an edited version for when I throw this up on YouTube. So we're going to do that as well. But I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. Thank you. I was playing with my chainsaw and my new axe. Serial killer dropped off a chainsaw for me and an axe, and I was playing with my axe this morning and gonna open up my chainsaw. It's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre replica chainsaw, so I'm so fucking excited, like so excited. I didn't get a chance to open it up yesterday because I was hanging out with Serial. We were all chatting, and then I had to go out, go do things, and you know. God, I'm so happy to be here and hear your voice, Rob. Good mood booster. I'm glad you're here too, Shoku, and I'm glad you're feeling a bit better. Thankfully you're feeling better. Darkbreaker, how are you? And I keep forgetting that I turn off certain things that I don't hear, and I'm so used to hearing during our regular streams. Regal, how are you, and how is your back feeling? I need a huge mental health break, but all is well now. I'm glad all is well for you, Shoku. Hello, 8-Bit darling. How are you? Yes, I actually stream on YouTube quite often, 8-Bit. I remember your name compared to your Twitch name and your kick name. Chico, it's his front paw and he's still limping, so I bought him some like doggy aspirin. It's a nature's pain reliever for dogs, but he doesn't seem like he's in pain, but I did it anyway because maybe there's inflammation. Darkbreaker, look at you, 3-stream streak. Wow, thank you very, very much. I feel like I'm back to normal, Ron. No pain. That's awesome. Still, take it easy. Take it easy. You don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to re-injure yourself, so take it as easy as possible. And yeah, 8-Bit, I'm glad you're doing well. Yes, I do stream outside of Twitch. We do YouTube, usually on Wednesdays and on Sunday mornings. And then on my gaming channel, which is Queen Screen Gaming, I do playthroughs over there. But yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys about Night of the Creeps. Now, funny thing is, Twitch wouldn't let me use the term creeps. It told me that my title did not go inside with the terms of service. So I could not use Night of the Creeps. The fuck? How is creeps a derogatory term? I don't know, but Twitch doesn't like it. Yeah, that's why my title is CCOH, horror chat or horror discussion, whatever the fuck it is on Twitch, because I can't use creeps. Hello, Running Bear. How are you, darling? Yeah, I thought that was like asinine. It's a movie, Night of the Creeps. I wasn't calling anybody a creep. It's just Night of the Creeps. They would not let me utilize the term creep. Hi, goth guy. How are you? Right? Shake your head. Definitely Cannibal Corpse, right? Thrill me. It's Miller time. We watched Night of the Creeps in the Discord Saturday evening. Nether and James stopped by with me, and we were watching Night of the Creeps. I had to sell my Creeps Blu-ray to pay some medical bills. Wasn't a good day. That sucks, Feed. It definitely sucks. Maybe the Creeps find that term offensive. I don't effing know. Well, I am a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I going? What am I doing here? I love that song, Regal. You're okay. You just got home a bit ago from church. How was church? I hope it was well. We're gonna start off our CCOH here very, very soon. Creep is a really good song. Before we do our CCOH, we're gonna do a really quick tarot card reading for you guys as well, since we brought them back and you guys have been enjoying them regularly. We'll bring them in. You like Banshees? Banshees are cool. Thanks, Reegs. Thank you. It is. I love playing the drums to that song, Creep. Oh, yeah. So, Shoku, I've been reading tarot since I was 16, over 30-something years. And I used to do it professionally. Oh, my goodness. The show, Mischief Maker. Thank you for sacrificing the soul of Shoku Panu. Mwah. Thank you, Mischief Maker. I appreciate that. So I was doing them regularly beforehand, and then we stopped doing them for whatever reason, and now we're back doing them again. But yes, Mischief Maker is amazing, coming out here and sacrificing. It was amazing, but I have not been to church for a few years. Well, I'm glad you're finding church again, buddy. That's awesome. Anyways, it must be funny hearing church and tarot cards in the same, since, you know, the religion that deals with churches frowns upon them. Was quoting the movie. Oh, yes, like Banshees. Yes, you were. And the band, yes, the band is Regal is over on Twitch, and she was the one that was basically saying she liked the word creep, and she's a creep. And so she was utilizing the song. That's what, if you didn't see it. Hi, Dante. How are you? Okay, so what do we need to know? What do we need to know this week? What's ahead of us for the new week? What do we need? I am culturally and ethically a witch. It's in my blood, and I picked up tarot last year. It's nice. I also have an altar honoring my deceased abuela and abuelo. That is awesome, Shoku. I was born into paganism. I was born and raised pagan. So for me, it's definitely in my family lineage. I am a practicing witch. Time, and the music that I use for Twitch is not allowed on YouTube, and so I completely forget that. Yeah, YouTube doesn't like it. The 90s were the decade of, yes, decade of the creep. Yes, it was. Hi, Carlos. Good morning. Remember the 90s? Every band had a song called Creep. Yep, because that was the 90s. What's funny about being a witch is that I am so ex-Catholic. Yeah, you were just excited about. I really appreciate you, Dravenral, for your 12-month resub. Thank you so very, very, very much. Mwah. I do greatly appreciate it, and never worry about it. It is what it is. You know, I always forget something in these streams, and it's like I said, it's usually the It's usually something jump scare. But I did find out that Lumia turns on my channel points when I turn them off. So remember I was telling you I didn't know how the fuck that jump scare got in there, and I turned them all off physically. Lumia turns them on. I couldn't figure it out what the shit was going on because I was turning off all of our jump scares, and for some reason they were going back on. Found out that that's exactly what it is the Lumia. When I open that up, it decides that it turns everything on automatically. So it's Lumia channel points though, because not everything is Lumia, right? And yeah, that's what I find is fucking hilarious, and that's why it scared the ever-living shit out of me. I am a crystal. Yes, Draven is. YouTube sucks anymore with their shitty laws. Well, it's all about copyright, right? And I understand it. I get it. It's copyright. I get it. I understand it. It's just sometimes I forget to turn my shit off, and then I pay for it because they like to demonetize my channel. Lumia is presumptuous to think you want stuff on. Good morning, zombie guts. How are you? Yes, they are. It's a fucking Lumia, man. But it's quite cool because they only turn on their channel points. So all my other channel points that are not through Lumia, because only some are through Lumia, they turn them all on when I open it up. So, yeah, I figured that out. You love that jump scare on TikTok? Yeah, that scared the ever-living shit out of me. I wasn't expecting it. All right. Hi, Big Wild. How are you? You're doing great. That's awesome. Okay, so let's see. What does everybody need to know for the new week ahead of us? What do we need to know for this new week coming up ahead of us? We're going to do it for the week, starting today, of course, since it's Sunday. And what do we need to know for the week? It'll let us what we need to know, what's ahead of us for the week. So I will do these every Sunday for you guys on Coffee Chat. Yeah, the copyright stuff is huge. So right off the bat, Kuan Yin is letting us know that you need to let it go. Whatever you're holding upon, it's not worth holding on it. If it's not worth holding on it, why are you still clutching to it like it's your fucking pearls? You need to just let it go. Remove it from your life, whether that is a situation, a person, at really anything, whatever it is surrounding you, let it go. Drop it like it's hot, you know? These cards are a lot of like, go now. Like, go. Get rid of things. Serapis Bay is basically saying you need to get the hell out now. Go now. Do whatever you need to do, but get it done. Let go of whatever you're holding on to that does not serve a purpose for you anymore. Make sure that you're clearing your energy and your space around you. Because people like to leave remnants of their bullshit in your space because energy is energy. And if someone's not having that great of a day, they leave that energy in your area. So make sure you clean that and clear that out of the way. And make sure you have an eye on your priorities this week. Priorities are going to play a really huge role. There's things that you want to get done, and then there's minor things that you want to get done. Those minor things, if you don't pay attention to the major things, which are your priorities, those minor things are going to get in the way. And then you're going to be kicking yourself in the ass at the end of the week saying, you know what, fuck, I should have took care of that first instead of this. So make sure this week that you are letting go of things that no longer serve a purpose for you. Clean and clear your space or your energy and priorities. So there you go. That is your reading for the week. Hoping to get some good pics of the nice storm we're having. Ooh, I hope you get some good pics. I would love to see them. Would love to see them. Your space is sacred. No bullshit allowed. Yeah, you should have your sacred space. I'm using Lumia almost primarily as a bot because of problems with stream elements. So Draven, if I can recommend a bot to you, it would be Firebot. It is a downloadable, customized bot. It's a bot that I have been using since Mixer. I've been using this bot for almost 7 years. I would highly recommend it. It's fully customizable, highly customizable. You can do so much with it. Thanks for the reading. I plan on quitting my job soon. A nice Shoku. You got to do something that makes best for you, right? A whole month. I'm so excited. I'm going to take 1 month vacation. Holy shit, 8-bit. Gee, friggin' geez, dude. I wish I could take a month vacation. Here in Canada, you have to accrue your vacation. So you get 2 weeks after a year of employment, which I know in other places you guys get 3 to 4 weeks when you first start a job. I don't know what the fuck we do here in Canada. No, Firebot's free. I don't pay for Firebot. Definitely feed me. Definitely let me know, feed. I will look. Stream Elements stop working midstream. Stream Elements, it's a cloud-based bot. The problem with cloud-based bots, you can't do customizable things. You can just do commands, right? In a customizable bot like Firebot, Mix It Up bot, I prefer Firebot. Their help is superb. You are able to customize everything. When I say customize everything, your imagination, sky's the limit. Really, sky's the limit. And I do some small coding on here and some small scripting, so I can also help you with some custom scripts and things like that. We have 3 weeks to start and 6 weeks. Yeah, because your city, though, your government, your average Joe who doesn't work for city or government, 2 weeks. 2 days, it's going to be your born day, 8-bit. Happy early birthday, my friend. Happy early birthday. Okay, well, since we are all here, we're going to roll into our CCOH before I drink all my friggin' coffee before. Regal, welcome to the YouTube side of things. And yes, let's get this on like Donkey Kong.
You like scary movies and coffee.
The following show is based on research on horror movies and what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite scary movies. Horde Entertainment or ReAnimateHer is not responsible for the macabre and the horror that you are about to witness. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, Pat. Thank you so very much for re-sacrificing your soul. 32 months. Thank you. I always forget another one. See? I wonder if there's a way that I can actually switch Firebot and do a profile for Firebot. I wonder if that's a possibility. Thank you for the sub hype over on Twitch. I like Creepy Raw voice. It's amazing. Thank you very much that I did that disclaimer. I created that whole disclaimer. That is my voice, and I used Audacity to create it. Welcome to the gun show. That is on. It is, but I turn it off. I do. I turn it off for CCOH because it goes on when someone subs, and I don't mind it, but you know, it can interrupt the information. Just so you reply to me on Twitter, thanks. It means a lot. Of course, you love that disclaimer. I am working on turning it into a t-shirt. I have to make the graphic big enough, so like a 300 DPI, and I have to redo some of the things because it's all made in Photoshop. That disclaimer. So I'm needing to make it bigger without distorting it so it can go on a t-shirt. Good morning, Cyrex. How are you? Hey, Ra in chat. My typing may be a little hard hit and miss today. A little bit drunk. No worries, Reaper. Thank you very much for popping in. All right, guys. Let's get into coffee chat of horrors. Good morning, my day workers. I am ReAnimateHer, your queen of horror, and this is Coffee Chat of Horrors, the only horror show that takes its coffee like it's magic, and that is black. Today's screams come from Fred Dekker's Night of the Creeps, so why not thrill me? Buckle up, ghouls, as we traverse through the realms that nightmares are made of. Night of the Creeps was released in 1986. God, that feels like such a long time ago. You're good. You slept wrong, so your neck is sore. Oh, that sucks. Let's give you some juju. Ooh, that gives you... Yeah, that sucks. I woke up the other day like that. My neck was sore. Not a good time. 1986. It feels like it's so long ago in 1986. Anyways, it remains a beloved cult classic among horror aficionados. Directed by Fred Dekker, the film is a true treasure trove of references, behind-the-scenes anecdotes, and quirky details that have cemented its status as a cult favorite. So let's embark on that deep dive into the world of Night of the Creeps, and let's check out the trailer that we have for this film. Now, 1986, I will tell you, I don't know how well the trailer is going to be. You were 4 in 1986? Get more coffee, Reegs. We're going to do the trailer right meow.
The night of the fall is finally here for Chris, Cindy, and JC. It's going to be the best night of their lives. But tonight is also the night of the creeps. From a world unknown comes a nightmare unimagined. First, they are under you, around you, on you, and then inside you.
They get in through your mouth, and you walk around while they incubate, even if you're dead.
They are a new breed of terror.
Freeze!
They are a different kind of horror.
Zombies, exploding heads, creepy crawlies. We could have a little problem.
The creeps are taking over.
I got good news and bad news, girls. The good news is your dates are here.
What's the bad news?
They're dead.
You have never had a night like this. Night of the creeps. If you scream, you're dead.
If you scream, you're dead. I love Night of the Creeps. It is an awesome friggin' movie. And yeah, Running Bear, it's the trailer. I had our audio up like super fucking high. It is the trailer, unfortunately, for that. I've never actually seen this film. Oh, so cool. You have to. And that is the 80s horror voice. I mean, come on, Deadwalk. You grew up listening to that guy do trailers. You definitely need to check out Night of the Creeps. I will warn you now, though, if you've never seen the film, we are going to have some spoilers, okay? It happens. This film has been out since 1986. It is a great mixture of horror and comedy, because it really is. And it is a new look at the zombie genre, as it's not your typical zombie film. Definitely not. You were 18 in 1986. Definitely check it out. We watched this movie Saturday night, actually, in Discord. It was around 6:30 my time, and we watched Night of the Creeps. Nether and James joined me for the showing. It was actually a fun time watching that movie. You love the 80s horror? 80s horror is great, man. Movies make me miss the mom and pop video stores. Definitely feed. Definitely. You were 12 at the time? Yeah. So Night of the Creeps is a friggin' classic. It became a cult classic right away as well, even though it did not do as well as they hoped at the box office. And it really did not. The budget for this film, and it's going to kill you when you hear the box office, the budget for this film was $5 million USD. 5 million. You were sleeping? Yeah, it was quite late for any of you on the East Coast. 5 mil in the box office. Now you're thinking 5 million. That's not really a lot of money. No, that's not really a big budget. That's not really, it isn't a lot of money. It's a low budget horror film, and it's considered a low budget horror film. However, the box office, it only made $591,366. 5 million to make. Box office brought in 591,366. Exactly, Scaticus. Good news, girls. Your dates are here, but they're dead. That is their most famous tagline in this movie. Now, this movie has a lot of great one-liners. It really does. Like, it's Miller time, which is one of the best scenes. However, the one-liners are great. And this tagline is, the good news is your date is here. The bad news is he's dead. That is a huge loss. Yes, thrill me, definitely. I should have counted last night how many times Tom Atkins said thrill me, because thrill me is throughout the entire film. It's his line. It's his tagline. Dekker was underrated. This and Monster Squad. Yeah, Monster Squad was quite huge, though. That did make a name for Fred Dekker. This is a Fred Dekker film, by the way. And Fred Dekker is a huge horror fan, is a huge horror fan themselves. And I've got a lot of great information for you. Monster Squad is a brilliant film. It's one of my favorite films. It's what I show my children, my spawns, when I get them into horror. All right, so the OG titles. I don't know if you guys know some of the titles for this movie. Before it was called Night of the Creeps. You know, movies like to hide or keep their movies secret, so they always rename them something else as they're traveling to and from the theaters, right? So we know that, you know, almost every film has a top secret name that is utilized, why it's being produced and why it's being sent to movie theaters and so forth. So the original title that this was going around as was Deadly Invasion, The Killer Bee Nightmare. Yeah. I don't know where they get the bee from, but The Killer Bee Nightmare. And then the other title for this film was also Homecoming Night. I think they did really good by picking the title Night of the Creeps. I really like Night of the Creeps. Yeah, because Twitch won't allow me to use the term creep in my title. Yeah, ridiculous. It is an actual film. Yeah. It is an actual film. If you go and take a look at it. Now, with this, if you've ever seen Night of the Creeps, you're going to notice or recognize many of the names. Yeah, the Night of the Creeps. Yeah. I could have used that, but who knows? Twitch may have had a hissy fit about that as well. There's a little Monster Squad Easter egg in the bathroom stall scene. Killer Bee Nightmare. I mean, killer bees, man, that could be kind of scary. So when you watch Night of the Creeps, you're going to notice some of the names that are in this film. And that is what Fred Dekker wanted this film to be. He included every B-movie cliche he could think of, and he insisted on directing the script himself. Yeah. So in this film, he pays homage to numerous legendary horror and sci-fi directors through using their last names. So for example, George A. Romero, in here, Chris Romero was his name. John Carpenter and Toby Hooper were James Carpenter Hooper. And then you have David Cronenberg. Her name was Cynthia Cronenberg. James Cameron was Detective Ray Cameron. John Landis is Detective Landis. Sam Raimi, Sergeant Raimi. And Steve Miner, Mr. Miner, the janitor. So there are quite a few that he paid homage to inside this movie. Directors that he, inspired, looked up to, and respected. And I thought that was really cool. I love when directors do these types of things in their films where they throw nods and show that kind of respect for their fellow horror directors and writers. Oh, you must have. Not everybody will catch it, though. If Twitch has something against Crepes, I'm done, right? We've got an ad that's going to be happening here in 29 seconds, so you know what that happens over on Twitch. We usually go off the walls, off the rails, and we can talk about whatever we want. That's going to start in like 21 seconds, so I'm not going to go any further into CCOH because I don't want anyone who is not a sub to miss out on the information. And if you did miss out on information, there will be an edited VOD over on my YouTube channel. So you'll be able to check that out as well. K and BFX, the early days were awesome. But yes, James, if you rewatch this movie again, notice all of the names. And they sound familiar. I mean, if you think about it, James Carpenter Hooper. He is one of the main characters, right? And then you have Cynthia Cronenberg. Another main character. You got the original Hills Have Eyes on VHS off of eBay. Very awesome. Very awesome. But I really like when movies do that. A lot of directors do that with their films, you know? Well, they'll pay homage to their directors, or they'll put their movies in. And I don't want to get ahead of myself because I know that ad is going to be popping up here. But yes, there are actually some Easter eggs in some of the other films outside of Fred Dekker that paid homage to his films as well. So, Monster Squad, which was a really big one. And I think it became bigger as it went on. I think I'll add that to CCOH. I think we'll do a CCOH on Monster Squad. So I will write that down and give it to Mr. Reaper 1923 because Reaper is the one who helps me create these beautiful images that you see right there. He creates them. I do the research. He creates the images. And yes, we do have an ad break, guys. So let's get off topic. I don't know many of these names yet, just getting into things. Draven, you'll know them. So David Cronenberg, godfather of body horror, The Fly. My God, there's so many movies that you could watch in the Sci-Fi Center that's around David Cronenberg. Rabid, so many. And David Cronenberg is also an actor, but he's more of a special effects guy. He's also a director and a producer on top of that. Reaper does do great work there at Deadwalk. Which I can name you a ton of Cronenberg films that you should watch. And The Fly from the 1980s, not the original Fly, but The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. Oh my Lord. Check out The Fly, Draven. I know you probably haven't seen it. Please don't do CCOH on Serial. He's scary enough, right? Love the Cornetto brain cone from the Shaun of the Dead CCOH, right? I thought that was pretty fucking brilliant. Hi, Jado. How are you? We're over on Twitch as well, and we had an ad, so we kind of get off topic when we have an ad. Hi, Quindy. Shivers. Yes, Shivers. I know Shivers. I know Squirms. I've seen the original Rabid. I had no idea David did that movie. The Rabid, Soska Sisters did a remake of Rabid. So Rabid was 1977. There's a ton of movies that you should watch. David Cronenberg, some of his older stuff. I'm not a huge fan of his newer shit. It's okay. There was one movie that came out of his. I can't think of it at the moment. Body horror is good though. Celtic, thank you so very much for your 27-month membership over on YouTube. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, new shit is asked. Yeah, Quindy. I still need to remember to post in Discord somewhere or DM for a list. In the horror, in my Discord, there's a category for the House of Horrors, and in there we have horror section. We have a review section that we do spoilers, so we do cover them with spoilers. Go into the Discord and you can take a look. Hi, Jake. How are you? Thank you, Celtic, for your 27 months. I do appreciate it.
My world, bitch.
So, let's do that. And now let's get back to it. I know I get sidetracked when I'm sidetracked. Isn't that funny? Okay, so we already told you guys about the homage, the lineage of the names. Make sure you check that out when you're watching Night of the Creeps. If you go and rewatch it, or if you've never seen it before, definitely check it out. You can watch this on Up Movies, and I don't know where anywhere else you could watch it. I think you can rent it from YouTube. And you may be able to get it on American Amazon if you're in the States. Now, this film includes every B movie cliche you could possibly think of from the 80s and the 70s, because that is what Fred Dekker did when he created this film. He utilized every cliche you could possibly think of in that time frame and put it in this movie. And it is filled with cliches, filled with them. A lot of one-liners, which It's Miller Time and Thrill Me are two of my favorites. And Thrill Me, you will hear, 40 times throughout the film. I should have counted it last night when I was watching it, but I did not think about it. Thank you, Jake, for tweeting out the stream. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. The screenplay for Night of the Creeps was written by Dekker in just 3 weeks. 3 friggin' weeks. And I mean, that's really quick. It took forever for this film to make it to screen, though. It took the film 6 years to go from script to screen, which blows my mind. He had a lot of problems in trying to produce this film, but it finally came to fruition when it did. And that was 6 years after the screen was written, after it was written, screen type was written. I'm just going to try to get it on VHS. Yeah, definitely get it on VHS if you can. This was a huge hit, direct to video, like a home video. When it went to home video after it hit box office, it was huge. People were buying this. This video, home video, really made Night of the Creeps an actual cult classic, because that's how people were watching this after the fact. It wasn't playing on TV. You literally rented it at home on VHS. Very 50s nuclear monster movie. Nothing but fun. Definitely. Welcome back, Running Bear. And I watch movies on Movie Joy. Nice. Right on. Yeah, I love VHS, and if you are able to collect it, more power to you, definitely. So graffiti references, you know how we were just talking about the Monster Squad and Striper rules, adds a layer of intellectuality. Oh my God, I can't even speak this morning. Connecting the film to other works and personal relationships of the crew. Fred Dekker did a lot of personal stuff in this film. He utilized, like I said, paid homage to some of his favorite directors and writers in the sci-fi and horror genre. And he utilized quite a bit of references from his other films. Monster Squad is one of them. There is graffiti or writing on the wall, and that is from Monster Squad. That is a direct Easter egg to Monster Squad. Gordon, the cat in this movie, was also named after film producer Gordon Carroll. You may not know who Gordon Carroll is. Does anybody here know who Gordon Carroll is? You forgot about Striper? Yeah. Yeah, Striper rules. That is another, you'll see a lot of references in Night of the Creeps to some of his other movies. This movie is on the site as well. Nice. But anyways, his cat name in here is Gordon, because of the film producer Gordon Carroll. Some of the behind the scenes that you will see here, director Fred Dekker originally wanted to shoot this film in black and white. In the beginning of the film, you actually see it in black and white, where it opens up. It's the 50s, and they're going to Lover's Lane, and they're gonna go make out or whatever, and it starts out just like that, like a 1950s movie, black and white, and it has this crazy axe murderer inside of this movie. So it starts off as a movie inside of a movie, and once they do the whole axe murdering part, and they go to present day 1986. And then that's where you see Tom Atkins as a detective, who also does some flashbacks. So you kind of get an understanding, an idea of who he was when the first part of this film comes out, which is in black and white. But he wanted the whole film to be in black and white. And I'm kind of glad that he steered away from that, because I liked how the black and white in the beginning of the film set the rest of the film, and the separation of the Technicolor of the film compared to the black and white. Didn't Gordon produce Alien? I'm not too sure. Feed. But where are we now? Yeah. See, it's how I squirrel very easily. But yes, black and white is what he wanted to do this. It took him 6 years to get this to film, which is insane. Fred Dekker's creative decisions, from shooting in a converted Woolworths department store to incorporating reshoots for added action, really shed light on the film's production process. So they filmed the majority of this in a abandoned Woolworth building. I know some of you youngins probably have no idea what a Woolworths is, because Woolworths has been closed for a long time, right? Exactly, Riggs. Woolworths was like I guess you can say, like a Walmart or Kmart of today. And so where this was filmed, they repurposed a Woolworths department store into what you see in this film. The majority was actually filmed there. Towards the end of the film, This is a spoiler. At the end of the film, you're going to see a spaceship and a small town that was all miniature stuff. Woolworth, best store in the Blues. Yes, Pie. Yes, the Blues Brothers were in the Woolworths as well. Yep. And you remember that store, Running Bear? I remember it too. I think my mom worked in a Woolworths for a short spell. Yeah, Woolworths was around before Kmart's and the Walmarts of our days, right? Or the Models. I don't know if you guys remember Models. There's a store named, it used to be Woolworths, Riggs. There is no longer a Woolworths. It used to be named Woolworths. Okay, so that we have that there. This film takes aliens and zombies and mashes them together. I know it sounds weird because we're so used to like Romero zombies or 28 Days zombies. This film takes alien slugs which reanimate the dead or kill you and reanimate you. So it literally has an originality with zombies and aliens. I don't think there's many films that are considered zombie films that base themselves off of basically aliens. So these aliens, slugs, right? They came down to Earth in an asteroid or whatever. They land down, of course, in the 1950s. So that's where it's nice and black and white that you see, the black and white film that you see. And then it goes into these creatures, these alien slug things. Slither is so gross, Gothic. Yes. Slither is not a horror comedy. Like Night of the Creeps is a horror comedy. Zombie slugs. Yes, Riggs, they were zombie slugs. Basically, they're like slugs. And what would happen is if you opened up your mouth, that's how they got into you, right? It's like... And you open up your mouth, like you'll see a scene in the movie where the one guy is talking and all of a sudden this slug thing just like flies into his mouth. It's really gross. I think that part is fucking gross, but I don't like things going into my mouth that I don't know of anyways, right? Just confirmed Gordon Carroll produced the first 4 Alien films. There you go. There you go, feed. I don't really want to watch that one though. Oh, Slither. Yeah, Slither is gross. Slither is gross. Squirms is gross, but definitely watch Night of the Creeps. Night of the Creeps is a bit different. You don't see the slugs all the time. You don't see them all the time. They're usually burrowed in the brain. I remember them. I got lost in the mall because of my parents were taking too long in Woolworths. Back then, they had cars and boats pulled into the mall, and I climbed in a boat and fell asleep. Oh, no. But yes, it takes zombie genre and aliens and mixes them together, and you have Night of the Creeps, zombie slug bodies. The practical effects used in Night of the Creeps were achieved through a combination of puppetry, another movie that used puppetry, prosthetics, and animatronics. So a few of the animal scenes that you do see is puppetry and some of the animatronic as well, which again, in the beginning of this film, you're going to see these small creature baby things. They're weird looking and you're going to be like, what the fuck? Heavy watched this with me last night. And the look on his face was like, what are we watching? Because he saw the beginning where you see this crazy little weird baby alien things. And he is like, what are you watching? I'm like, it'll be good. Don't worry, babe. It's going to be good. Slither is fun, but it's one of the movies that makes me squirm, so I find it more of a horror than a comedy. Hello, KB. How are you? This is an amazing classic, Night of the Creeps. So puppetry and animatronics and prosthetics were used in this film. Now, we were watching and talking in the Discord while watching this movie last night, and we were talking about Plan 9 from Outer Space, 1957, and what was playing in the movie from the house mom, because the house mother was watching a movie, and the movie she was watching was Plan 9 from Outer Space, which was released in 1957. If you have not seen that low budget sci-fi, you need to go and see Plan 9 from Outer Space. You do. It is it's almost like a horror rite of passage. If you haven't seen it, you need to go see it so you can have your rite of passage. Did he end up liking it? No, it's heavy. He just was like, okay, it had its moments. Heavy suffers so much. He does, because he has to watch these movies with me. Still got to go with the roach scene from Creepshow. That fucks me up, that scene, Feed. That scene is the worst. The worst. And that's what got me into that whole, like, I don't want bugs inside my body. I don't want nothing crawling in my mouth and, like, bursting out of my chest. Gross. This is Tom Atkins' favorite movie of his own. He really loved playing the role of detective. He really loved his role here. And he speaks about this a lot. So if you ever see Tom Atkins at like a Comic-Con or in an interview or a horror con, he does talk about this film quite a bit. It's one of his favorites that he is in. And he doesn't have many of those that he is in. Your face when answering that question. Oh. Yeah, Heavy is not into that stuff. Always wish we got a sequel. We could, Muscle. We could. I wanted a sequel as well. They did leave it open for a sequel. They did. Monsters Inside Me is another series I couldn't watch. Nope, thanks. Roaches in the Cereal was nope. That's a big effing nope for me as well. Creepshow. Okay, so at the beginning of the movie, at the sorority house, Pam's roommate is talking on the phone with a friend and asks her if she's seen Plan 9 from Outer Space, which this movie plays a huge role in horror history. Anyways, this movie was directed and written by Edward D. Wood Jr. that came out that year. Later on in the movie, in 1986, the house mother is also watching the same movie on the TV. So in the beginning, you're going to see a lot of Plan 9 from Outer Space references because it's an awesome movie. I'm going to recommend a quick book here. If you're like me, and you love reading about horror, educating yourself on classic horror and just of that time of the 40s and the 50s, there's a really good book. Vampira, who also starred, one of her last movies that she starred in was Plan 9 from Outer Space. And I am going to recommend this book. If you are a fan of Vampira, like I am, she is a huge inspiration for me and one of my idols, like one of the biggest idols. She was the first Scream Queen. She was the first everything as a horror host, as a woman. And I'm going to tell you, Glamour Ghoul, this book right here, I have read it. I can't even tell you how many times I've read it. It's a thick book, but it's so worth it. It's called Glamour Ghoul, The Passions and Pains of the Real Vampira, Mela Nurmi. So much history in this friggin' book. It's an autobiography. It's also written by her family member in this book. So if I can recommend any book to you, definitely check this one out. It's one of my friggin' favorites. I actually got a lot of books like that because I love that stuff. Evil Doer and Bumpiest, how are you guys? Welcome. Happy Sunday. Hello, Moon. How are you? Tom does give the best interviews. He's an amazing person. I have yet to meet him. Hi, Dewey. How are you? You just seen it at a thrift shop? You almost got it for me? Well, thank you. It's definitely worth a read, though. If you like reading about horror and horror icons of the past and anything about horror, especially back in the day, I have a whole bunch of books I can recommend to you because I love reading about horror and the history of horror and classic movies. I love that shit. I am well, Evildoer. The family is great. Thank you, Bumpiest. How are you? How have you been? If you are just joining us, we are discussing on Coffee Chat of Horrors, Night of the Creeps. If you've missed any of this, there will be an edited VOD for your viewer pleasure over on YouTube. You love seeing through shirt? What was that, Dewey? Yeah. You should get it for yourself, Riggs. You're doing good, Moon. I hope you're having a great day at work. There will also be a test. We used to have trivia. Maybe I'll bring trivia back. Maybe. We used to have trivia, though, at the end. It was just fun trivia. You guys used to win Streamloot's chests. Believe it or not, Greg Nicotero and Howard Berger both played zombie extras in this film. It's quite funny. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I love my shirt. I love your CCOH, Ra. I watched The Burning yesterday. The Burning is a great movie. Great movie. Also back, Pasta is Made. Nice. Welcome back, Monkey. Yeah, so Greg Nicotero and Howard Berger play zombie extras in this film. This is where Greg Nicotero was also starting out with the same with Tom Savini. Tom Savini wasn't in this movie, but this was the era where they were all getting their careers down and dirty into their careers. And it was really surprising to know that Greg Nicotero was an actual extra, a zombie extra in this. Now, if you've seen this, you know that there is a handicapped character, one of the main characters. The portrayal of JC. JC is a handicapped character. Underscores Dekker's intention to depict diversity without making it the focal point of the story. So Dekker wanted to bring diversity into this film with bringing in a young actor who is handicapped, and it's not the focal point of the film, and he didn't want it to be the focal point of the film, but he wanted to make a point that anybody could do and be a hero, basically, right? Now, it kind of gets some fuckery down the road in this movie, which with him, I'm not going to spoil that for you, but you'll see if you watch this movie, or if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. There's no reason aside except what we just don't see it. You can make a movie with a character who's handicapped without the story being about the fact that he's handicapped. That is a direct quote from an interview that Fred Dekker did when he was asked about the scene and his character being handicapped. And he wanted to make it a point that, you know, you can have handicapped actors in your movies and portraying without making it the focal point of the film, and that, you know, anyone that is handicapped can also be a hero, which I thought was quite cool, seeing this. Fun fact about this film, I've already spoke about that evildoer. That was in the beginning of this. I've noticed a lot of films lack representation of people with disabilities in the horror genre. Yeah. Actually, not that it's a lack of, a lot of it's behind the scenes and in puppetry, to be honest with you, Draven. There is a lot of, for one instance, his name is slipping, I know, a squirrel moment. His name is slipping my mind, but he was a handicap stunt actor, and he didn't have any legs. And he did a lot of behind the scenes stuff, puppetry, and played numerous creatures. He died a few years back now, and I just can't remember his fucking name. But there is quite a bit. It's just not as representative as it is everything else, if you know what I mean. But if you watch a lot of older horror movies, you'll see. And then, of course, when the movie Freaks came out, 1932, I think, nowadays people freak out about that. Meanwhile, Freaks actually gave jobs to those that were considered freaks of that time. And, you know, people got upset about that and took away a job from people who were handicapped, who at the time that society looked at them as handicapped, right? Or as freaks. And that was, I believe so, Riggs. Noble? Yes, Noble Henry Craig. Yeah, he was another one. Freaks was a dope movie. I agree with you, Gore TV. So that's a squirrel moment for you. People get upset when they were utilizing handicapped people in films. You can't win. You just can't win. That's a whole nother CCOH. But that's a whole other CCOH. We should talk about that. Now, character insights. We just spoke about how his handicapped character, he wanted that in there. It wasn't specifically written with that in mind, but that's what Fred Dekker wanted inside of his film. And you can see later, there is a collector's edition of Night of the Creeps where he does speak about that in the director's commentary section. The collector's edition has a lot of information in it, so if you can get your hands on Night of the Creeps, the collector's edition, I would highly suggest it. Freaks is an amazing classic. Yes, it is. It is definitely a classic. Yes, he was Dewey. Jason definitely has a disability. I have a genetic condition that people used to call it freak, but a lot of people are reclaiming the term with modern freak shows. I don't see anything wrong with it, and I honestly don't. But again, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other time. Some of Tom Atkins, so his role here, he did come up with some of the things himself. So you know the idea where if you've seen the movie, Detective Ray Cameron stops and he smells a rose in one particular scene. That is what Tom Atkins came up with, as he felt it was it added a little something to the film itself. So when you're watching this, that was improv. That was done on the whim by Tom Atkins. It wasn't written in the script. He felt the moment to do that, and that's what he did. This will be in your collection. It should be. It should be in every horror fan's collection, especially if you like the 80s. True, Jason was. Yes, he was. Now, again, Tom Atkins' favorite cameo, his favorite acting scene in here. Also, the college football team, the Bulldogs, was named in tribute to the writer and director of Fred Dekker's high school football team. Like I said, there's a lot of homage. He pays a lot of homage and personal homage to friends, families, and directors and screenwriters and producers that he respected. And you'll see that throughout this film. And again, there's another little tidbit. The actual team, Bulldogs, is from his own high school football team. I can't forget about the Adams. Yeah, yes, that they did. There's a lot. Jill Whitlow, she is in this film and was considered by some as one of the first female empowered action heroines, just in front of Linda Hamilton's Sarah Connor in 1984, the film Terminator, right? So Jill Whitlow, she did quite a bit in this film, and you know, she is considered one of the first female empowered action heroines. The VHS is apparently sought after. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Night of the Creeps has a huge cult following. So finding things to Night of the Creeps collection wise is going to be expensive. The film, you know, it didn't hit off well in the box office, like I said earlier, but it has a huge cult following, and things are not going to be cheap if you want to buy something that is literally a collector item of Night of the Creeps. Yeah. So, but downside when something becomes a cult classic. I find it funny that the frat guys were going to pick up their dates in a school bus. Yeah, right? Linda Hamilton does doing. Yep. There was potential talks of a remake with James Wan. The film's enduring legacy and influence on future generations of filmmakers is huge. A lot of filmmakers, the younger filmmakers, and I don't want to say younger because they're not really that young, but like James Wan, all have been inspired by some of the 80s horror that they grew up watching. Do I want a remake? No, but I would love a sequel, and they do leave it open to an actual sequel, just like the Stuff left it open for another sequel, which I think would have been great. I would have loved a sequel to the Stuff. And I'd love to see a sequel to Night of the Creeps. I don't want to spoil the ending for you guys, so I'm not going to say it. So we'll just leave it like that. Let's see. It's one of our other images here. Yeah, there we go. Don't forget to call Skynet. Fred Dekker did not want to do stop motion or guys in suits for the opening glimpse of the aliens on board their ship. But he still wanted them to appear different from the norm. So he ended up putting little people in suits. He said, "It didn't occur to me that it would get a laugh from the get-go. It was unintentional, but he thinks it gave the audience an approval to laugh going forward," which I will agree with. And that is the scene where I told you where we first started watching it and Heavy just looked at me at these little alien creatures. Yeah, that was it. This film, that starting point allowed you to laugh with the rest of the film. It really did. And I think it did a great job of mixing horror and comedy with their great special effects. Only if they were done in the 80s, they would ruin the franchise now. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, unless they did a lot of practical effects and tried to keep it in that 80s 80s kind of style. I mean, even if they weren't to keep it in the 80s, Dead Walking, they were to do something like a 90s, like it's been how many years later, cryogenically frozen kind of creature again, you know? I don't know. They could probably do something nowadays, but without the CGI. Yeah, they do ruin some of them, Reegs. They do. First time I saw a female lead in Creeps was Weird Science. She is in it for like a minute. The collector's edition is $37 Canadian and change on Amazon. Get it. It's definitely worth it, Maeve. I like to buy the collector's edition of films if they have them because they usually have director commentary, director interviews. I love that kind of shit. So I would get it. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it. Also, they would have to change a lot to reflect how attitudes have changed. Oh, yeah, they would definitely, because 2023 and 1980s are black and white right there. Black and white. Oil and water. Totally fucking different. Yep, we got an ad break in progress, so we get the squirrel, guys. We get the squirrel. Yeah. I think you should get it, Maeve. I do. I own it. I own the collector's edition. It's got a director's cut, has quite a bit of information in it. If you like that kind of stuff, which I do, I love that shit. Seems like Killer Clowns went for the same vibe. Great companion movie. Yeah, it would. Nice, Maeve. Nice. Yeah, $37 isn't bad at all for the collector's edition. It should have, if it is the actual collector's edition, it should have the director's cut too. Happy Sunday, Joshua. I hope you're having an amazing day. Thank you for popping in. We have 30 seconds till the ad on Twitch ends, guys. So, I'm so glad that I am a sub. I hate the ads. Yeah, they suck, but they keep the site going, and I make a little income off of the ads as well. eBay was the director's edition on Blu-ray for $13. Yeah. It's like the difference between Social Attitudes and the 68 version of, yes, 100%. You had to change the times from the 68 Night of the Living Dead to the 1990 remake. You couldn't keep the same social attitude as you would have in the 1960s. You couldn't. It wouldn't have been good, right? You wouldn't have been able to do that. People would not have been able to relate to it now, right? So with that, little guys, welcome back. With the little guys in their opening costumes, they were little people in baby alien costumes. They are quite weird looking, and you're gonna, if you've never seen this before and you watch the opening, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Just like Heavy did. Fred Dekker said in the DVD commentary that the scene where Cynthia, played by Jill Whitlow, she changes her top, was staged intentionally to leave the viewers wondering if she was going to show her boobs. And I love how they do these things in these films, because every horror film, for the most part, especially back in the 80s, showed boobies. The idea here was, are we going to see her boobs? And we wait until the very last beat, and then she turns around. The idea there is obviously nudity always makes your heroine more vulnerable, which it truly does. Which I thought was a great scene, and you do see boobs, so there is boobs in this movie. Not as plentiful as some other movies, but there are boobs in this film. Now, the scene where Chris, played by Jason Lively, listens to JC's tape presented a challenge due to Lively's playfulness. And you'll understand this scene if you've seen the movie, or if you go and watch it after this, you'll understand it. So there's a scene where Chris is talking to JC, actually on the tape of JC. So he's listening to the tape that JC left, which I found was weird, because how did JC leave that tape? I'm not going to ruin it. Anyways, Fred Dekker put photos of atrocities around the actor and told him off screen to look at them at various points in the scene. So he's looking at them. So he posted these atrocities to get that reaction, because again, Jason Lively was very playful and comedic when in his acting. And he had to actually look at some nasty shit to kind of get that look of like, oh my God, right? And sadness on his face. There is one part where you can see him look at Auschwitz, which is at about an hour and 4 minutes and 20 seconds in, Dekker said it was really important to him that he take the scene seriously. So, spoiler alert, Chris is listening to his best friend on a tape recorder because his best friend succumbs to evil, and he's talking on it, and it had to be a moment of seriousness where the rest of the film isn't really overly serious, but this part of the film is, and he had to bring that in, and it was really hard for Jason Lively to do that. So Fred Dekker did put atrocities around him and had him look at it so he would be more serious in his role when he was talking. Well, Monkey, a lot of films don't, because it is quite sexist. A lot of films don't. The only one that I can tell you that gives you equal nudity for male and female nudity is Cherokee Creek. And if you haven't seen Cherokee Creek, it is an 80s style raunchy horror comedy. And it's not made in the 80s, but it's got that 80s raunchiness. It's guy humor, and I fucking love it. It's one of my favorite independent films. It's hard to find, but it's called Cherokee Creek. If you can find it, watch it. And if guy humor offends you, don't watch it. So there you go. When leaving the house, Mother's Cottage, on one of the police officers mentioned getting in contact with Officer Dante and Del Palma, named for the directors Joe Dante from Gremlins and The Howling and Brian De Palma from Carrie. So there is a lot of homage for people in this. Not just your Romero, not just your Carpenter. You have a ton of references in here. And a lot of people miss that as well. They don't realize that the officer's name, who is Officer Dante and Del Palma, they don't seem to catch that because they never think of The Howling or Gremlins or Carrie in this film. But there is a huge amount of homage to horror in this film alone. And this is 1986 as well. So some of the cultural impact that this film has had. So Night of the Creeps explores the themes of friendship, loyalty, and resilience of the human spirit in the face of overwhelming odds, which a lot of our movies in horror show you, right? You can overcome anything. Why horror raises what society would look as weak. Usually horror rises up, right? So you have that's how you get your final girl, your final boy, whatever, your final whatever, is for that reason. And I'm not a huge final person. I prefer everybody die in the most violent way ever. But we have to have our final girl, final boy, final couple. The film script was written in just a week. The script itself was a week. The whole screenwrite was 3 weeks, and it took 6 years to get to screen. The underscore is rapid creation and lasting impact on pop culture, which it really has. And if you look at it, a lot of the movies made afterwards about sororities you can see a direct inspiration from Night of the Creeps. Now, the film does have other connections. Like I said, Plan 9 from Outer Space and the brain leeches. There are brain leeches. That's basically what they are, like those slugs things. They're brain leeches. Highlights the film's place within the broader horror genre. So, a direct inspiration of the brain leeches and Plan 9 from Outer Space. These two films played a huge role and inspiration in the creation of Night of the Creeps. Now we are coming. What time is it? I think we're coming to the. Wow, we are. We're right there. We are coming to the end of our CCOH. Yeah, I really like this film. It can be, when I say family friendly, for someone who is in a teenage era, so 13, 14, 15. So if you have a 13, 14, 15-year-old, I think this film would be a good thing for them to see. It's not over the top. There is really no real sex in this film. You do see a couple of boobs, but they're not long drawn out scene of boobs or anything like that. It's usually changing room boobs, getting ready to go shower or change into your prom dress or whatever. That's the kind of boobs that you see. Nothing over the top crazy. Now, Night of the Creeps has really great practical effects. And when I think if I can zoom in, I wonder if I can zoom in on this. and show you. So there is one of the references to the movie right here, to some of the movies. Hello, Metro. I'm trying to see, and Striper rules. Remember, I was telling you that there are graffiti for Monster Squad. Striper rules, and then right in here as well. So there it is, classic Spanky. Rusty, you guys remember National Lampoon's Vacation? The redheaded boy, his name was Rusty. Well, Rusty, Chris Lively, is one of the main characters. Jason Lively plays the role of Chris, who also plays the role of Rusty in National Lampoon's. I just seen your Discord message. I don't know why Discord doesn't alert me on my cell phone, but it doesn't. I never get alerts on my messages since the new update. But anyways, we are coming to the end of our coffee chat of horrors, and I'm glad that you guys spent your Sunday morning with me. It's evident that the enduring appeal lies not only in the scares, but it's also rich tapestry of references, characters, and behind-the-scenes anecdotes. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a newcomer to the genre, Night of the Creeps offers something truly special and thrilling journey into the heart of horror cinema. And it really does. This film, not only does it play a really huge role in inspiration to other films later on in the genre, which there are quite a few, that were, especially the directors of our era, you know what I mean, have been inspired. James Wan, one of them, and I know you guys know James Wan, definitely was one of his big inspirations here. For Night of the Creeps was one of his big inspirations, which I thought was really cool. And it's really nice to find out that Fred Dekker put in a lot of personal references and made this movie not just about his own life and his own personal stuff, but in there people that he respected, which I thought was really cool. I love these breakdowns. Great chat. I'm glad you love them. I feel like punching a moose in the nose. Well, moose, they're not nice. People think moose are fucking nice. Moose are some violent mofos. If you haven't met a moose, you don't live in an area where there are moose, you don't know. But they look like they're nice little creatures, but they're not, especially in the springtime. No boobs for you, if not dick pics for monkey. Appropriate boobs, yes, appropriate boobs, Deadwalk. It's from the movie with Chevy Chase. I know it is, I know. But yes, that is our CCOH. That is our coffee chat of horrors deep dive into A Night of the Creeps. I really love bringing you guys the information for this, and I know that there are a few of you that missed the opening. There will be an edited version. You can watch the VOD, the live VOD, over on my YouTube channel and on Twitch. However, you get all the shenanigans before, in between, and after. I will be editing my my coffee chat of horrors down to whatever, like 30 minutes, so you can watch them over on YouTube as a VOD instead of the hour and a half long that we do. Of course, Deadwalk. I hope you guys found it interesting. Moose are death on four legs. They really are, Metro. I will, Running Bear, I will. Thank you guys for joining me for Coffee Chat of Horrors. Now, do you guys want to know what I may be looking at for next Sunday's CCOH? I'm almost tempted. I know it's going to be Valentine's, and I'm not sure if I want to do like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Motel Hell, Brain Damage, which is a Frank Henenlotter film, one of my favorites. I may actually have to mix of Brain Damage with another movie because it may not have a lot of information on it, but one of my favorite Frank Henenlotter films. We also have The Ghoulies and Maximum Overdrive. I fucking love Maximum Overdrive. Do I like zombie movies? Of course, Carlos. Who doesn't love zombie movies? Of course, Steve. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Dr. Bacon and Beer, for whipping out them tiggle bitties. I appreciate it. Definitely Killer Clowns or Maximum Overdrive. I like SK, so you had me there. Yeah. Oh, which zombie films are my favorites? Oh gosh, I have a lot of favorite zombie films. Return of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead, the original from '68, the black and white version, not the Technicolor. I think it's scarier and more unsettling in black and white. But I have a lot of favorite zombie movies. I love, hence my name, ReAnimateHer. Reanimation, zombies. I don't like zombie movies other than Night of the Living Dead. Why not? There's such a great amount of fucking... I love Juan of the Dead. Yes, Juan of the Dead. I watched that on Up Movies. I never heard of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Never watched it. Oh, Carlos. Okay, it's a movie from the 80s by the Kyoto brothers. You need to go and find it. Check it out. It was on Netflix. Definitely go and check it out. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a fucking ton of fun. A ton of fun. Return of the Living Dead, if we are talking classics, I fucking love Return of the Living Dead. Yes, great films. So I'm thinking, yeah, Have you guys seen Motel Hell? Motel Hell is one of my favorites. Yeah, one of my favorites. Farmer Vincent. Love Farmer Vincent. Slaughterhouse was good. Nice, Neo. Motel Hell, yeah, you loved it. I loved it too. It's one of my favorites. Return of the Living Dead is not terrible. I like the Return of the Living Dead franchise. Actually, my most favorite out of the Return of the Living Dead is the third one. Ghoulies. You know what? I think we're gonna do Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, so next Coffee Chat of Horrors will be Maximum Overdrive. It is a Stephen King adaptation. I do know that when Stephen King was creating, he was high on cocaine, especially for Maximum Overdrive. So that is what we will be discussing. Next Sunday will be Maximum Overdrive. I love all the Texas Chainsaw movies. Nice, Bunny Bear. So do I. Killer Clown is a timeless classic. It really is. It definitely is. I use preservatives. Yep. His best work was when he was on coke. I agree, Ray. That was the 80s, guys. You can tell the differences of Stephen King of the 80s to the Stephen King later because the cocaine was removed from the life. I'll be here for Maximum Overdrive. Awesome, Carlos. Every Sunday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time on YouTube and on Twitch, we do Coffee Chat of Horrors. So we'll be deep diving into them and we'll be watching Maximum Overdrive in the Discord before CCOH. So for those of you that haven't seen the movie or want a refresher, I watch this movie a couple times a year and it's a great movie. We will be watching it in the Discord. You ever seen The Clown House? I've seen a lot of clown movies, Run Bear. There is one with, what's his name? Jigsaw. Oh my God. Tobin Bell. He's in one. And every Sunday, I forget what time you start. 11 a.m. Mountain Time, which is, what is it? 12? No, sorry. 1 p.m. Eastern. 1 p.m. Eastern. I'll be out of town next weekend, but I'll have to try to catch your movie night sometime. What do y'all do movie nights? Thursdays. Thursdays and Sundays. So Thursdays, we do movie nights at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And then on Sundays, usually around 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, Darkbreaker throws on some movies. Anybody can throw on a movie in the Discord and the Slay MC channel. You do have to ask for the role because I don't give it to everybody. Hence, it's always being tagged like, hey, I'm watching a movie. I also watch movies like on a Saturday. It's not scheduled, but if I feel like watching a movie, I'll throw it in the Discord and be like, hey, I'm watching so-and-so, and y'all are welcome to join me. But yes, Thursday nights, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time is our normally scheduled horror movie night, and Sundays around 2 p.m. Mountain Time, or is it 12 there we go, movie night, 8 p.m. GMT or 1 p.m. Central, which would be 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Robot Jocks with Gary Graham. That is what Darkbreaker is playing this Sunday, today, in the Discord if you're interested. But on that note, guys, we are getting to that 12:30 mark. I want to just say I really do appreciate you guys coming in here on your Sunday and hanging out with me on your CCOH day. The fact that you guys come in and hang out and listen to what I have to spew is pretty fucking awesome. And I love sharing these facts with you and researching them. I get excited. It's one of my favorite things to do. Like I said, researching horror, reading about it, that's my hobby. I do that in my spare time. I've got a ton of books. Again, if you're interested in learning anything from, you know, classic horror or some of the hosts of yesteryear like Vincent Price, Svengoolie, Vampira, there's a lot of great books out there. Even on Elvira, she has her autobiography as well, which I have down there. It's a Gary Graham tribute month. Yes, may he rest in peace. Thank you for being here, Monkey. I appreciate it. Regal, Deadwalk, thank you for doing what you do. Greatly appreciate it. Celtic, Carlos, Feed, Steve H. Dewey, thank you for being here. Darkbreaker, Regal, Deadwalk, Ray of Effin' Sunshine, Dr. Bacon and Beer, Running Bear, Metro Birdman, James, Neo Slayer, Cyrex, thank you so very much for coming in and hanging out with me and chilling. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed CCOH. You'll be able to catch the VOD edited on YouTube. You can actually catch the whole VOD right now as soon as we end if you've missed it, but there will be an edited version with chapters so you guys can watch them both. Thank you so very much for everything. We will be live Wednesday night. I'm not sure what we're doing. Maybe we'll do some coffin chat. Haven't quite decided what the topic of Wednesday is going to be, but Wednesday night we'll be live again on YouTube and on Twitch at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and then we'll be doing some gaming on Friday. Until next time, my darlings, I will slash yous all later. Have an amazing rest of your weekend, and I love your guts. Bye.